peacefulness, even when they are struggling, and especially when they are struggling with getting the testing down. Okay, so keep that in mind, that as you maintain that calm, that is what's going to transfer to them, and it will have a large effect. It doesn't matter whether you're touching them or not. Our presence affects another person in close proximity, regardless of whether there's physical contact or not. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get back into our screening session, and we're going to be taking a look at interpreting these scores. So now you have your baseline set, Jeannie, and whoops, sorry, wrong tester. We have your baseline set at 165. I hope it didn't break. And now that it's set at 165, what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about what happens as we're testing products and you get a what we call a positive score or you get a negative score. But remember, the simplicity of this testing is that every time you come to an abrupt stop, the instant you feel that just right feel in your shoulder, in your elbows. Okay, but what will start to happen is as we test on various products, when you feel that just right feel, it may show up as being higher. And if you test, for instance, on 2 multiple vitamins, one may show plus 10, another may show plus 20, but every time you will feel that same feel. You'll just come to a stop when you feel it, and the scores will start telling us things. So let's take a look at what the test scores tell us. So let's go back to our renewable flip chart and talk a little bit about what these numbers mean. Generally, if it's 5 points or above or higher, these suggest that there is a present benefit to a particular product, or if we're testing on negative emotion release, this translates as a yes or a positive answer. Okay, if we're like right within this red ring right here, like we're 0 to 3 points right within this area right here inside this clear band, then that is, it suggests that there's no present need. However, you may wish to take the product as a preventative basis. Of course, with 10,000 products out there, I would be more inclined to request you steer to one that might be a little more beneficial for you. If it's 5 points below or lower, this suggests either a food sensitivity, or if we are testing on negative emotion release, this translates into a no. And I want to talk a little bit about your level of sensitivity to the stimulus, because in muscle testing, some people will respond dramatically with changes of 20 to 30 points to their baseline, and other people respond more subtly with changes of only 5 to 10 points. Now, it's important to understand that about half the people are what we call dramatic responders, and the other half of the people are called subtle responders. And it does not mean that these people, that the muscle testing is working better for them. All it means is that their sensitivity to the stimulus of the product or to the stimulus of the spoken statement is higher. They just have a higher sensitivity to it. But everybody works from their own scale. So if you're a subtle responder and you have changes of 5 to 10 points, a 10 point is going to be a real high score for you. And so we'll interpret that as being very beneficial for you depending on the product or the issue. Right? If you're a subtle, if you're a dramatic responder and you have a plus 30, then that will become one of your high scores. So again, everybody works from their own scale. The testing is working equally fine, and don't think that your test scores aren't as valid as another person's, because again, everybody is unique. Now, comparing your own test scores, not to another person, but to yourself, that is valuable, because obviously the higher scores are indicative of things that your body is really wanting or craving, right? And the not so high scores are the ones that you might have a tendency to say, well, I think I'll spend my money elsewhere rather than right here, right now, right?
Right.
Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right, so let's take a look at what is next in our testing. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about the other piece of equipment, okay? So the other piece of equipment is called, we learned how to use the bar. The other piece of equipment is called the brain. And so it's going to be important for you to, as you're doing this testing, to have a neutral frame of mind. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that if you have a positive opinion about a product that you're testing on, do you think that that could influence the test score? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. The question is how do you get rid of it, right?
Right.
So that it doesn't color the test score. Let me ask you a question. Do you feel that many times that your opinions are valid?
Yes.
Okay. So the objective won't be to eliminate the opinion, right?
Right.
Because they're valid opinions in many cases. But what the objective is to do is to not have it color your test results. Okay? And so we use a set of what we call cue cards. And these cue cards, I'm going to be guiding you through this process and making sure that you are keeping your mind in the right frame of mind so that the testing shows clear test results. So one of the most common areas that we need to work with people in is working with their opinions. So it's going to be helpful to me if what you will let me know is when you have an opinion, positive or negative, it doesn't matter. If you have an opinion about a product that you're testing on, be sure to let me know. Okay? And then what I will do is I will work from these cue cards, and I will have you repeat the statement that is on the cue card. And the cue card statement for opinions is, I set aside my opinion on this multiple vitamin right now.
Oh.
Okay? And so I'd like for you to repeat that right now. I set aside my opinion on this multiple vitamin right now.
I set aside my opinion on this multivitamin right now.
Okay, very good. And so now I want to talk a little bit about what that does. What it does basically is it clears the energy of that influence for the short duration of the poll, long enough for us to get a read in that is a clear test result. And it's been proven that it's very effective in doing that. And then you can go back to having that opinion about the multiple vitamin, because we're not trying to change your opinion. We're just trying to have it not interfere with the test results, okay?
Okay.
Now, what's important about it, and you will hear me reminding you of this, what's important is that you speak it emphatically, like you really mean it. Because if you just repeat it, it's not going to be enough to kind of clear the air. Okay? It really needs to be something that you feel and that you're committed to and that you believe in. So let's have you say it one more time like you really mean it, from the tip of your head to the tip of your toes. I set aside my opinion on this multiple vitamin right now.
I set aside my opinion on this multiple vitamin right now.
Very good. And what I will do is in the nutrition testing process, I will continue having you cued to that, because I'm aware of things that are going on, and so we can be sure that your opinions aren't going to be getting in the way. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Very good. Okay. So let's talk a little bit now about the testing process. Okay? And so we're going to take a look again at our renewable flip chart, and I'm going to be showing you the form that we're going to be using. And it is called your personal nutrition buddy. And so what we're going to be doing is working from this personal nutrition buddy, and we're going to be keeping track of your scores right here, okay? And this is where we'll test the products to find out what their scores are, what their relative benefit is. And then once we get to testing on the products that you know that you want to be taking, we're going to fill out another form called your dispenser buddy, and this is where we will figure out how many is the optimal amount for you, what's the best time of day to take it, how many you need in the morning, how many you need in the evening, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in our next session. And in